not even worth flowers. You're not even worth flowers. How embarrassing. Hi guys, welcome back to the Shannon Show. Hello if you're new, so today's video is going to be a detailed discussion of Euphoria Season 2 Episode 3. I really hope everyone is as well as can be, and I really do hope everybody is being as proactive as possible in supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. And if you're still on the lookout for some resources, I've linked some in the description. Feel free to comment down below your thoughts on my commentary. I'm always up for a chat, I'm always up for a debate, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't, give it a dislike, no hard feelings. And if you really like this video, consider subscribing and helping your girl out. So yeah, episode 3, let's break it down, let's talk about it, because there's a lot to get into. I know some of you guys were hoping for a reaction this week, but the algorithm is not showing your girl love, so I'm switching it up this week. I'm trying out a breakdown instead. But if you really do want to see a reaction, you can send me a request on Patreon. So let's get into the breakdown. So I feel like we should address Cal first. We get a little backstory in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, I did not care for the backstory. I do not care about Cal at all. All I care about is him being tortured and being sick that his secret is gonna get out. More of that, less of the backstory. I don't care about humanizing him. I just want the torture. But this is the breakdown, so I'm gonna break it down for you. So in the backstory, we learn that in high school, Cal had a friend called Derek, and they were really close. For now, I make a vow to just keep it in the closet. Cal was basically thirsting for Derek. Their relationship was very homoerotic, and they both were living their best straight presenting life. They both ended up getting girlfriends, and it was all very rose tinted. Then when they graduated high school, they decided to celebrate at a gay bar under the guise of they would get served because they were underage. Then they had a little kiss after all of that sexual tension. Cal's finally broke the ice. He's probably thinking, yeah, hoping to get it in this summer. And literally the morning after, he gets a call from his girlfriend saying that she's pregnant.
Are you serious? How you know?
Putting an end to all of the fantasies that were in his head. If you quickly put 2 and 2 together, that's probably why he is out here doing all of this dodgy business in hotel rooms with underage people. I wouldn't say that this backstory humanizes him. I feel like it just provides context. Did we really need it though? I don't think so. I feel like this time could have been allotted somewhere else, been allotted to another character. But I'd be interested to hear from you guys. Did you find Cal's backstory valuable, interesting, or did you not really care for it? I'd be interested to hear from you guys. And that's probably why he hates Nate, because Nate essentially cock-blocked him. And he's basically in his head like, I'm not going outside. I need to repossess this disc ASAP. So he tries to be sneaky and spy on Fez. I think he was trying to get some dirt on him. But Ashtray pulls up on him, whacks him in the head a little bit. You know how he does. And eventually he discovers that Nate played him. Fez does not know anything about this disc. He didn't even know that Jules and him did something together. So Nate played him, and he also doesn't know what this disc is. So the torture continues, which is bad for him, but great for me because I like seeing him tortured. Now in Cal's section, it did mention that he doesn't give up easily. He's not a quitter. So I don't think he's going to quit his search now. I don't know if Nate is going to outright tell him that Maddie has the disc, but I have a feeling he's definitely not just going to leave it alone. He's definitely going to be on his bullshit again. Next, we have Lexi. I feel like Lexi's development overall has been very poor, and it was still quite poor in this episode. They gave us a little bit more than they usually do, but overall, I feel like Lexi, I'm rooting for her simply because she's the only one with functioning brain cells in this series. But overall, they're not really giving her a good storyline in my opinion. But basically the gist of her storyline this episode is that she kind of feels like an outsider, even in her own family. She kind of feels like she's the only sane one. And she sees herself overall as an observer. She's not involved in the mess, but she's definitely on the sidelines watching. And as she should, because she shouldn't be getting involved in the mess. And she channels this observing energy into writing a play. And this play is pretty much a remix on her life. The characters are based on Rue, her, Cassie. And she's now investing her time in that play. I'm predicting that this play is definitely going to cause some mess in her personal life with her friends, because I feel like her friends might feel like some of the stuff she's put in there is a bit shady. I feel like through exploring this play, she's going to figure out that Cass and Nate are doing a thing in secret, because she's already figured out that Cassie is hiding something. And I also feel like her getting into her playwriting bag could potentially affect her and Fez's relationship. She's a very logical person, And logically, her and Fez, it's not a good idea. He's a drug dealer. He is probably going to be involved in some dangerous mess. And her being involved with him is going to put her in danger. So I feel like through her getting into this playwriting bag, she's elevating her life. She's going to realize that Fez is probably not a good option for her. I feel like realistically that's how it would go. I did see someone say that they think that her and Ethan are going to get together because Ethan is in the play. And in terms of compatibility, Ethan is a better match than Fez for Lexi, in my opinion. But also, I guess the writer has to think about fanfare as well and fan service. And Fez and Lexi together will definitely be fan service. But would it be realistic considering what we know about Lexi? I don't think so. I feel like she liked the attention initially. But if she's really serious about elevating her life, Fez is not going to be an option, in my opinion. So I don't think we will get Lexi and Fez as a proper relationship. Maybe they might kiss. Maybe they might have a little fling. But I think ultimately she will realize that Fez is not the best option. It's just going to be, you know, he was a nice boy, but it's just not going to work kind of thing. That's what I'm predicting. But I'd be interested to hear from you guys. Do you think Fez and Lexi are a realistic couple? Or do you think it's just, you know, it's nice, you know, fan service, it would be nice. But do you actually think they're compatible? I'd be interested to hear from you guys. I'd be interested to hear. We also have our first black female speaking character. Because everyone was complaining, where are the black female characters? And you know what? I was like, yeah. But then I was kind of like, you know what? After seeing Sam Levinson's work and how he deals with marginal characters, I think it's best that black girls were kept out of it. You know, we've got a cute little side character. She seems very sensible and cute. Let's keep it at that. But I'd be interested to hear from you guys, especially the black female viewers. Would you like a black female character, or do you feel like it's better that we don't have one? I'd be interested to hear from you guys. And then obviously Kat and Ethan, we continue to see their relationship going downhill. Kat meets his parents for dinner. It was an awkward dinner, which is only going to add to the list of reasons why Kat is going to eventually dump Ethan. Overall, Kat, again, they're not really giving her a storyline this season. The storyline is pretty dry this season so far. Feels like they're putting her in a back burner. I would love to see her in something a bit more exciting. Not necessarily problematic, but something a bit more exciting, because her and Ethan, it's not giving. Then we have Elliot's interrogation, where Jules basically interrogates him about his intentions for Rue. He does admit that he has a crush on her, but interestingly, he also says that he has a crush on Jules. Now, initially, I was thinking threesome. 1, 2, 3, but as the episode progresses on, we find out that Rue and Jules are having intimacy issues, with Elliot even suspecting that Rue could be asexual because she's not really a sexual person. But Elliot suggests that Rue and Jules could be incompatible because, you know, their sexual libido differs. Jules says that she doesn't care that Rue isn't sexual, but it's presented as a question mark. It's presented as she might be doubtful that she isn't bothered, which makes me believe that maybe Elliot and Jules could be a thing, because he was definitely like making a move on her. And they're actually rumored to be potentially dating in real life. And usually when that happens in real life, whether it's genuine or promo, and I'm not going to knock it if it's promo, you'll see it on the show. In that whole section, they also provide a kind of backstory that Jules has a very high body count, and they gloss it over as her being a whore, but they don't make any sort of attempt to address the hypersexuality of trans girls and how they are often preyed upon, and how more than likely a lot of these situations that Jules has been in have been very predatory. And that's something that I've noticed a lot with Sam Levinson's work. He's not really good at addressing issues of marginalized people. Which brings me on to Rue. Now, Rue, I'm worried for Rue this season. This season was a very concerning episode for me. So Rue starts off breaking the fourth wall, and she tells the audience, aka us, that yes, she knows that we're rooting for her, but at the end of the day, she told us from the beginning that she wasn't trying to stay sober, and yes, that she relapsed. She's giving us a guidebook on how to get away with being a drug addict, and two particular tactics that she addresses are using a cover drug, which is when you're on hard drugs but lead people to believe that you're on softer drugs, aka weed, which is basically harmless compared to, say, cocaine or heroin or oxy. And the mechanism for that is okay, yes, they're a drug addict, which is bad, but at least they're on weed and not on the harder stuff. Which is, of course, very manipulative. Another manipulative tactic that she uses is guilt tripping, because we've seen her use the aggressive tactic of give me the drugs, I need the drugs. Like, if you don't give me the drugs, then you're hurting me. I need the drugs right now. That doesn't always work. So when that doesn't work, you go for the guilt trip. Yeah, you're disappointed that I'm taking drugs, but either I take the drugs or I'm going to kill myself. And I think a lot of people who know drug addicts personally will probably know these tactics. And I think overall it highlights that drug addicts are still highly functional people. Yes, they are under the influence of drugs, but they still have cognitive features and they can be very smart. And of course, having a drug addiction, especially when you're addicted to hard drugs, is not cheap. So she devises a plan to get drugs for free. And her plan is to run a teenage girl drug ring, which is of course very smart. Typically, drug dealers are male, working class. People are not going to suspect the middle class cute girlies, so they can shift more products. And this definitely happens in real life. I remember that I went to school with some middle class white girl. She wasn't even a drug dealer, she was a pick-me. Her friend was the drug dealer and she would help him smuggle drugs into the club by putting the drugs between period pads and then wearing them in her panties. And she didn't even take no money off the top. But yeah, the middle class white girlies, they be pushing the product, honey. She initially pitches that to Fez. Fez is like, hell no. So she goes to Laurie, I think her name is, Miss Walter White, her. She goes to her. Laurie thinks it's a great plan. They come to a great deal. She gives her the drug. But Laurie warns her that her collateral is that she will get sold off if she fucks up. And by sold off, I feel like you know what that means, honey.
How dare you call me a prostitute? But you are!
Now, at this point, I was thinking, Rue, is it worth it? I don't think it's worth it. Like, can't you, like, continue to, like, ponce off of Elliot? Like, and even Rue, she's in her head, like, you know, this is a bad plan. This is a bad plan, but she wants some drugs real bad, so she agrees. Now, what I'm thinking is she is probably going to use up all the drugs, something along that lines, or she's going to come up short, but instead of being sold off, she might negotiate becoming a prostitute. That's what I'm thinking, because she even put out this statement that, you know, this season is going to be more mature, this season is going to be darker, and Elliot and Jules were talking about how she's not a sexual person. Then Laurie's talking about, you know, if she fucks up, she's going to get sold off. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking Rue's going to fuck up with these drugs, but instead of literally just being sold off, she might just be sold off. I feel like she's going to negotiate being a prostitute. That's what I'm thinking, because, you know, that's what happens next. Faye in the first episode was talking about, oh, I know you eat Fez's ass. And the reality is that a lot of drug addicts do turn to sex work to fund their drug habits, or they end up being trafficked. So I feel like that's what's going to happen to Rue. I got to hear from you guys. Do you feel like Rue can pull this off, or do you feel like she is just going to end up going down a really dark path? I got to hear from you guys. We also see that she cuts ties with her sponsor, Ali, or it seems like that, because it was kind of like an ultimatum of, like, if you do this, if you disrespect me one more time, I'm not going to speak to you ever again. And she took it there. And it looks like they're not on speaking terms, so she doesn't even have that support system anymore. But I'm not going to lie. I've seen people saying, oh, you know, oh, she shouldn't have, you know, done Ali like that. But I feel like Ali was definitely overstepping his boundaries. I can see that he cares about Rue, but at the end of the day, like, he's not her dad, he's not her father. And I feel like a lot of their relationship was projection. He saw her as a project that he needed to fix to make himself feel better. And I feel like that's when the boundaries were being crossed, in my opinion. I feel like they didn't have a healthy set of boundaries. Do you feel like Ali was just, you know, trying to be a good person and he did nothing wrong? Or do you feel like he might have crossed a few boundaries? I gotta hear from you guys. And of course, I'm gonna end the breakdown discussing the ridiculousness that is Nate and Cassie. So Nate, his bruises have healed up and he's back in school now, and he's literally ignoring Cassie. Cassie does not exist to him in those hallways. She exists on a Friday night when his dick is hard, but in the hallways, she's a ghost. And here's me thinking that this will be enough for Cassie to see that Nate is trash. But she wants him even more. She's dressing up every day, turning looks, knowing that she's going to get ignored. But she's just kind of like, well, at least he knows that, you know, I'm making an effort for him. It was just so sad and pathetic. Then we have this kind of fake sequence where we're led to believe that Cassie confesses to Maddie in the toilet about her and Nate. And I wish that was true. And they fooled me, because I was like, oh, I'm ready for them to scrap in the bathroom. But obviously it was revealed to be fake. But that would have been iconic. That would have been an iconic reveal, to be honest. I feel like they should have kept it. But now it's kind of like leaving us wondering, how will Maddie react? Because I'm not sure if Maddie would have beat her in that toilet. It feels like she was just kind of shocked. I don't know. Do you feel like Maddie's going to beat her up now? I don't know. Probably. But I'd be interested to hear from you guys. Do you feel like that should have been the time for Cassie to say something? Or are you happy that that wasn't the opportunity? Do you feel like that would have been too early on? I gotta hear from you guys. But yeah, Cassie is definitely down bad. She's out here giving Maddie advice not to take Nate back because, you know, she needs someone that actually appreciates her and loves her. But yet she's dealing with this trash. It's all sad, honey. So yeah, her and Nate have been hooking up every Friday night. There was even one scene where she was like, I love being your secret and I can't tell anyone about you. And I was just like, ew, girl. Have a glass. And then near the end of the episode, we see Cassie waiting at the hookup spot. Nate is in his car driving. He's got flowers in the seat next to him. I already knew he was driving to Maddie's house. I already knew. See, Cassie, you're not even worth flowers. You're not even worth flowers. How embarrassing. So Nate cancels on Cassie and he goes straight to Maddie's house with the flowers. And she lets him in. So obviously they're back together. And I just feel like Nate is plotting to get that disc back. And I don't even think it's for his father's sake. It's probably for his own sake. Because when somebody does something bad in your family, like, it affects everyone. You know, you're going to be the one, you know, whose dad got locked up for doing creepy shit, you know? He's definitely trying to save his own ass as well. It's kind of like, well, now what's going to happen between Cassie and Nate? Because is he going to two-time them? Is he now going to break up with Cassie? If he breaks up with Cassie, how is Cassie going to take that? Or is Cassie going to agree to two-timing? Because her whole justification about why she doesn't feel bad about sleeping with Nate is because him and Maddie are broken up, which I don't think is a good justification if that's your friend, which she clearly is not. What's going to happen now? Do you think Cassie will willingly continue the relationship? Or is Nate going to tell Cassie the truth and say that he's just using Maddie to get this disc and that it doesn't mean anything? That's what I'm thinking. All I know is that it's time for Cal to go to jail. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of my breakdown. I'd be interested to hear from you guys what you thought about the episode overall. What do you think is next to come? As always, let me know what you thought about my commentary. I feel like the rest of the season, Rue is going to go downhill. And I feel like there's going to be a love triangle. It's just going to be a whole mess with this Nate, Maddie, and Cassie thing. And then also Cal with this tape. He's going to continue to obsess over this tape. What is the outcome of this tape going to be? Is it going to be destroyed? Is it going to come out? It's one or the other. And also Elliot and Jules, I feel like they're going to get together this season as well. I'd be interested to hear what your predictions are. And keep it to predictions. I don't want any future spoilers. I just want predictions. If you've heard of spoiler, please, if you're going to comment a spoiler, please put a spoiler tag, because I want to go in as blind as possible. I don't mind talking about predictions, but if you heard this from so-and-so, please don't tell me. Please don't tell me, honey. I love to do these breakdown videos every week, but this is definitely just a trial. I've got to see if the algorithm is good to me or not. No, so if you don't see a video next week, just assume it's not going to continue. But if you don't see any Euphoria videos from me next week, just assume I'm not going to continue it on my channel. But I am going to continue my commentary regardless on TikTok. So if you want to tune into that, follow me on TikTok. My @name is @shannonbafundilaenquiries. You can always request an in-depth review or a reaction on my Patreon. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you have, don't forget to put my notification bell on so you know my next video is dropping. I'm also trying to get to 4K subscribers. That's my next short-term goal. I'm almost there, and I'd appreciate if you help me hit that. And thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my channel so far. Till next time, guys. Bye.